Stand easy. For the first time in this entire file, I get to open with good news. The bombing has stopped. 2 nights running now, and both sides confirm it. But this desk has one more question to ask than the headlines do, soldier. And tonight, it is the one that matters most. Not whether the shooting stopped. Why? Because a war that pauses for one reason stays paused. A war that pauses for a different reason is waiting on a delivery. First, the pause itself. And it is confirmed from the other side of the war, which is rare enough to note. On July 26th, Iranian army spokesman Mohammad Akraminia said the American attacks had continued until 2 nights earlier, and that over the past 2 nights the Americans have stopped. He added that because Iran's strategy has been retaliatory, Iran halted its own operations in turn. And Iran's military attached a condition, soldier. The conflict expands again if American strikes resume. Both armies have stopped shooting. Neither has stood down. Now Washington's explanation for it. An administration official put it this way: the president has always been clear that his preference is diplomacy, and he has shown Iran what will happen if they fail to come to the table in a serious way. Read plainly, that is a claim of cause and effect. Pressure was applied, pressure worked, and the pause is the result of a strategy going according to plan. That is the account on the record. Now here is the room where the decision actually got made. General Dan Caine, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, advised the president that an expanded campaign could, and I am quoting the man directly, dangerously reduce the number of interceptors available to U.S. Central Command. Interceptors, soldier. Patriots. The missiles that shoot down the missiles aimed at American bases. And after that advice, a prepared multistage campaign targeting Iranian radar, anti-ship systems, energy infrastructure, and nuclear sites was shelved. Not called off because Tehran moved. Shelved after the chairman warned about the magazine. And the arithmetic behind that warning is not classified. By late April, the United States had fired more than 1,200 Patriot interceptors at a unit cost above $4 million each. Run that multiplication, soldier. That is more than $4.8 billion in interceptors alone. The first 2 days of this conflict cost $5.6 billion in munitions. More than 5,000 targets had been struck by the 10th of March. That is not a campaign winding down. That is a campaign burning through its own inventory faster than the factories replace it. Now set 2 statements side by side, both from the Department of Defense. In March, in a report to Congress, the Pentagon stated that its Patriot stockpile remains extremely strong. In July, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs warned the president that expanding the campaign would dangerously reduce the interceptors available to Central Command. Extremely strong in March, dangerously reduced by July. Both of those describe the same inventory, soldier, and they were 4 months and one very expensive war apart. The fair reading at full weight, because there are honest explanations here, and this file will not skip them. 4 months of the most intense air campaign in a generation sits between those 2 statements, and inventory that was genuinely strong in March can be genuinely thin in July. That is attrition, not deception. Second, warning about stockpiles is the chairman's job. A Joint Chiefs chairman who did not raise interceptor levels before an expansion would be failing at the work. And third, the honest one, both things can be true at once. A president can prefer diplomacy and be short of interceptors in the same week. Logistics and intent are not opposites. So why insist on the distinction? Because the 2 explanations predict different futures, soldier, and that is the whole reason this report exists. A pause taken to protect a negotiation can be extended, deepened, turned into an agreement. A pause taken because the magazines are low ends when the magazines are full. And that is not hypothetical. Congress is right now considering a $67.1 billion supplemental request, of which $21 billion is for munitions. If the constraint that produced this quiet is a supply constraint, then the vote on refilling the shelves is also, quietly, a vote on when the bombing can resume. The honest after action. The guns are quiet, and that is genuinely good news for the crews at those Gulf bases, and for everyone under the flight paths. The pause is real. What the record will not support is the tidy version, that pressure worked and the plan came together, when the chairman of the Joint Chiefs was warning the president about running out of the missiles that protect American troops, and a prepared campaign got shelved right after. So watch the supplemental, soldier. If the shooting resumes within weeks of the munitions money landing, you will know which explanation was the real one. Ask what refills, not what was said. That's the after action. Dismissed. I'm Mark, and this is Pixel Politics.